Everybody come out and let's commit to singing joyfully.
Everybody look up and find the hope that we've been waiting on.
Everybody's glad because the silent fear and dread is gone.
Freedom to me, it's got a heart singing so joyfully. Just look now, you're a tear such a check it out. Can't you feel the brand new day? 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 Woo!
Everybody be glad, 'cause the sun is shining just for us.
Everybody wake up, into the morning, it's so happiness.
Hello world, it's like a different way of living now. Thank you world, we always know that we've been free somehow.
It's time to me, to show the world that we've got liberty. It's up to share, us to live so independently. Freedom to see, and our hearts singing so joyfully. Just look around, you're a team of self to check it out. Can't you feel the brand new day? Can't you feel the brand new day? Can't you feel the brand new day? Can't you feel the brand new day?
Everybody be glad,
The sun is shining just for us.
everybody wake up to the morning into happiness. Hello world, it's like a different way of living now. And thank you all, we always knew that we'd be free somehow.
But on this island, the earth sings as soon as the storm ends.
And as Timoon set out, she realized she was walking with old Fred.
The birds. Cuckoo, 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 cuckoo.
Sha, sha, sha. The trees.
Sha, 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 sha.
The frogs.
And the breezes.
Sha, sha, sha. Sha, sha, sha. Sha, sha, sha.
Timoon lost all her fear. She knew Osaka was near her. You never been away from the sea, child. You're gonna need a helping hand. A fish has got to learn to swim on land.
Oh, feel little girl, don't you be afraid. Oh, little girl, let me be your guide. Oh, a pretty thing like you. Run it a thing or two, and whatever you need, Mama will provide. Oh, down the road, little girl, you may lose your way. All alone in a world that may seem too wide. But to turn my mother love, and I will draw them up, and whatever you need, Mama will provide. I'll provide you to soften the road, to sit on, to sleep underneath, fun for your toes, to fill up your belly, to find your face, for making your bed.
run down people your side. That's what some mamas were to give her child the ear. And whatever you need, mama will. I was younger than you are now. When I was given my first command, I led my men into a massacre, witnessed their deaths firsthand. Oh, I made every mistake. I felt the shame rise in me. And even now I lie awake, knowing history has its eyes on me. History. History has its eyes on me. History. Let me tell you what I wish I know. When I was young and dreamed of glory, and don't nobody have control. Who lives, who dies, who tells your story. I know that we can win. I know that greatness lies in you. But remember, from here on in, history has its eyes on you. History. Oh, history has its eyes on you. History. 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 Yeah.
Hi, everyone. I'm so excited to welcome you to History Has Its Eyes on You, a discussion on diversity, equity, and inclusion, or DEI. My name is Jiana Odland. I identify as a biracial Black woman, and I am the Education Associate at iTheatrics. And now it is my greatest honor to bring on my co-host for this event. You may recognize her from Broadway's Groundhog Day or Head Over Heels. You may recognize her from the Los Angeles cast of Hamilton, or you may know her from her many iconic Junior Theater Festival performances. Everyone, please welcome the fabulous Miss Taylor Iman Jones.
Hello.
Hi, Taylor.
Hi. Hello, everyone. My name is Taylor Iman Jones. As Jiana just said, I am a musical theater performer, and I'm so excited to be a part of JTF's first ever panel on diversity, equity, and inclusion. This is a big subject that we're going to tackle in a small amount of time, so keep your ears open.
Yes, and I think it's safe to say that Taylor and I, we both love theater. I found my people, my family in the theater, but even as much as we love this theater world, we know it can be better.
Yes, which is what we're here to talk about today. Diversity, equity, and inclusion. So let's break that down. Jiana, what is diversity?
So if you Google it, if you look it up, diversity means so many different things, but it comes to a basic understanding that each person is unique and then recognizing what makes them different. And the most common things are gender, orientation, religion, financial status, and what we're here to talk about today, primarily race. But there are 2 other letters in DEI. So Taylor.
Yes, and as Jiana said, there are many definitions, and the best thing you can do is look these words up for yourself so that you have an understanding of what they mean for you. But in our world here today, equity is providing everyone the same access to opportunities while taking into account and trying to make up for the inequalities that society is bringing amongst them. Like Jiana said, race, gender, abilities, anything like that. And inclusion is creating a space that makes people feel like they will be seen, heard, and valued equally to their peers, regardless of their background.
So now that we know what the terms mean, DEI, let's see how it relates to the theater world, our world especially. So I have gathered some evidence from a study originally reported by the Asian American Performers Action Coalition. And I won't go over all of the numbers and figures on this issue. There is so much information out there, and I do encourage you all to do your own independent research. But I want to point out 2 areas that really drive our point home. Broadway is not diverse or fair right now. So before we get into casting, check out this first slide and look at these statistics from the 2016 to 2017 Broadway season of writers and directors. 95% of all Broadway productions were written by Caucasian playwrights, and the same goes for directors. So that means before we even get to audience members or even just the actors, the stories being told are coming from a very singular, not diverse lens. And also you'll see the city's population at that time does not correlate to 95% Caucasian and everything else. So these numbers are just truly out of balance.
Yes, so these numbers are so staggering because we know there are plenty of storytellers of color who have amazing talents and very important stories to be told from their perspective. And they're not getting the same opportunities that their white counterparts are getting. Now we can get into casting.
Yes, casting.
Yes, and now we can get into casting. Sorry. And I mean, these numbers speak for themselves. So the previous slide, Caucasians only make up 44% of the New York City population. And yes, people come from all over the country, but the country is also not 95% white. So this first statistic doesn't reflect what is being seen in the world around us.
No, and like the slide says, these statistics are from a year that had some beautifully diverse shows like Hamilton and Miss Saigon. And even with that, these numbers reflect the racial discrimination that exists in the industry and at the country as a whole. So now that we've seen the math, we've seen the hard evidence, but it's obviously something that's very personal to me and Taylor and countless of others as well. So I've invited some brilliant friends from the JTF family and the theater industry at large to share some of their own experiences. Please welcome Roz Fulton, Kikau, Alvaro, and Kyrstina Alabado.
Hi.
Thank you so much for being here. It means the world to me. It means the world to, I feel like, anybody who gets to watch this and see these brilliant people up here. So I'm asking you all a very personal question. I would love for you to share an experience where you've seen the effect or personally felt racial bias in the theater industry. So something personal to you, but not just the negative side of it. I would also like to see if you have seen a way that the theater is currently or is moving towards a more inclusive place. So, you know, the hardship and the hope is what I'm asking. And so Roz, I'd love to start with you.
Hello, everyone. I am Roz Fulton from Greensboro, North Carolina. I am the executive director of the Community Theater of Greensboro, and we have been so proud to be a part of JTF for so many years. As a Black woman in this industry, you know, I've been with community theater for 20 years now. And in the beginning, I always felt like I had to work harder to get to where I needed to be. I had to prove myself that I could do the same things as white counterparts could do. So it always brought on this, always looking over your shoulder, always trying to go above and beyond and show and prove who you are and what your talents can be. We've been doing the Wizard of Oz for 25 years now. And, for many years, every little girl wants to grow up and play the role of Dorothy. And in 2009, which wasn't that long ago, we cast a Black young lady as Dorothy. And it was just a wonderful experience for the organization to show that we are changing and we are moving in a different direction. But the community at that time wasn't ready. So even for us as an organization, we got letters, we got phone calls of, why are we doing this? Dorothy is supposed to be a 16-year-old white girl. And for our organization, it was, we saw beyond that. We said Dorothy can be anybody she wants to be. And for us, it was a moment for us to say, let us be that organization that's showing that no matter what that role is, anybody can play it. And so I'm happy that over the years that we have gone on and we've cast a Latino Dorothy and we have cast a mixed Dorothy, that it doesn't have to be one particular person and one particular color that can only play certain roles. And over the past few years, I'm happy that this community and this theater community has embraced change and has embraced that. At the end of the day, we all bleed the same color. And if we can sit there and look past the outer layer and look at the inside and look at the hard work, look at the determination, look at the drive of so many people of color, that we will see that we're all the same and we all have that passion deep down inside, that we just want our talents to be seen, to be heard, and we just want the same opportunities as everyone else. So for our organization, we are proud to be moving in that direction. Again, as a Black woman, I'm proud to say I'm the executive director of this beautiful organization, and I'm looking like I'm looking like this other little girl right next to me. So, dream big, girls. Dream big, young men. You can be anything that you want to do as long as you set your mind to it.
Beautifully said.
Well said. And just, again, a shout out to Community Theater of Greensboro. You've put on such an amazing organization there. You are the executive director and you are such a brilliant leader. So thank you. Thank you, Roz.
Thank you, JT, for having this platform.
So Roz is the executive director of a theater group. And I know that Taylor, you performed in lots of theater as a kid. So if you could talk about that perspective.
Absolutely. So I grew up doing youth theater from elementary school all the way through my senior year of high school. And I think I benefited from women like Roz, who saw a more open world for the children, especially performing in their theater. So I had the opportunity to be in Fiddler and, to be Sandy in Grease and that kind of stuff. So I'm from the Bay, which is a very diverse community in itself, the Bay Area in California, for those of you who don't know. I've always been lucky enough to, I think, be a part of a community that sees beyond race in some spaces, or at least sees the possibility of opening roles and doors for people who may not have had it before. For example, I also, as an adult, got to play Mary Poppins. And I know that is going to shake a lot of people for that show, especially. But the Bay Area really opened me with open arms. And, I know I got to touch a lot of children's hearts and minds. And at the end of one show, a little tiny white blonde girl comes up to me at the end of the musical. She waited for all the rest of the kids to go. And she's like, Mary Poppins, you look exactly like the Mary Poppins in the movie. And it broke me. Children can see beyond these worlds. They can see themselves in everybody. And it's up to theater companies and adults to create these worlds and create these spaces for kids like me to have those opportunities so we can grow up to be the adults we are, as you see in front of me. I'm getting emotional because it makes me emotional. But yeah, that's what I would say. I've definitely benefited from worlds, from women like Roz who have created those spaces for me to blossom.
Ugh.
Oh,
Making me emotional.
Totally.
So moving on from youth theater, Kikau, I know that you know theater at the higher level of education. So if you could speak to that, that'd be amazing.
Hi, my name is Kikau Alvaro, and I am a very proud Hawaiian and Filipino American, and I am also from originally from the Bay Area, but find my home in Richmond, Virginia right now, where I am the head of musical theater at Virginia Commonwealth University and the associate artistic director at Virginia Rep, which before the pandemic produced, lots of theater for young people and for adults. I think that there are many connections between the professional world and the academic, theater, the academic world. These are young people who are deciding to make theater their careers. So it's this very interesting time where we are preparing them for the world. And before these conversations that we're having now, it sort of felt like there was something unsure about what a career might be. And so that's just something that I've seen. I think that it takes a certain amount of money and a certain amount of privilege to become a musical theater professional. You have to pay for the headshots, you got to pay for the dance classes or the voice lessons. And so right there just are some inequities that people, I'm hoping as part of this panel to bring to light. Even something as small as being able to afford a bus pass to get to a rehearsal, or rehearsals being at a time where someone who is in college has to work, so they might not be able to accept all of the opportunities put in front of them. So, I think that there's a lot of things that we can talk about, but I do think that there are inequities when it comes to choosing shows for a particular season. And making sure, I think that it's really important that we make sure that there is equality when it comes to scheduling shows or marketing shows, and making sure that the show choices are really supported, and that you're choosing shows for the diversity that is in your program. And ours at VCU is very diverse, so it's been really fun. For me as a university professor, I started about 5 years ago, and I saw at the beginning young people just, not seeing themselves or actually casting themselves out of opportunities. Someone thought, oh, I will never be Sarah in Guys and Dolls. And I just want to say that has changed. People like Taylor, the fact that Hamilton exists and people can see themselves on stage. So I have students now who are working on both legit musical theater and pop rock songs, and they're just singing anything and everything they can get their hands on. And I think that's an important shift, because it certainly inspires me to open that world for them and to make sure that we can be as accessible as possible. Like I said, it's a very special time, and it's right before they're about to move to New York, or maybe move to Los Angeles or Chicago or Atlanta. And so it's important that we inject people with confidence and with and the opportunity to try out all of these different things so that they can then take them to that next level.
Wow, that's amazing. I love that you have educators like you in the higher education to encourage those kids in the right direction who were afraid and felt boxed in. But I'm so grateful that there are people like you. Thank you so much, Kikau. And so once people move on, grow up in life, sometimes we get performers like Kyrstina. So Kyrstina, you are in the professional world. Do you want to talk about that for a bit?
Yeah, sure. So my name's Kyrstina Alabado. Before the shutdown, I was playing Gretchen Wieners in Mean Girls on Broadway, and I am a proud first generation Mexican Lebanese person here. First generation, it means that both of my parents immigrated to the United States. My mom when she was 30 and my dad when he was about 10. So I'm very proud of my heritage, but kind of going back to what you were just saying, it took me some time to know that I could do more than In the Heights. It took me a lot, even in my professional career, up through even the first 5 years of me being a professional. And that takes time to get out of your system. I still think it. I still get in my own way about that. I can't play Mary Poppins. You know what I mean? And your story is so inspiring to me. And I look at what I've done now and I say, hey, I've been able to break those barriers that were in my own way. But that was how I was brought up and grown up to know that I could only do Mimi and Rent. That was the only role that was available to me when I was young. When I saw Rent in my, in the auditorium here in Phoenix, I went, wow, a role, that's me. I can see me for the first time. So I think it's been really beautiful to watch the industry blossom, though it seems slow. It does feel like it's changed. And I developed some scars that are still healing. My first manager when I was young, 18, very impressionable, told me not to be in the sun so that people could think that maybe I was white. And I spent truly until the last couple of years not going in the sun. And I'm 31 now, and that stuck with me for a long time. And it's those little things that you have to start chiseling away at. And I have a lot of young, people ask me, should I hide my ethnicity? Should I hide my heritage? Should I act a certain way? And never have I been more amped to tell you, please don't do that. That is what makes you special. That's what makes me special, and all of us here. And that's been a big lesson for me as an adult and as a professional. And I want to be able to play Mary Poppins. I want to also be able to play Nina and In the Heights. And I want there to be a musical about, Lebanese people, and I want everything to be a beautiful blossoming of what our world and our community is. And I have a lot of hope that it'll continue in that direction, and that, now I feel more proud than ever to be who I am. And I hope that, again, with people like you all leading the charge of this, I really do have hope that this is going to be a beautiful place.
Oh, wow. Thank you all so much. I know, and I'm gonna get emotional, but I was a young theater kid performer. I did theater all growing up, and I grew up in a wonderful, supportive, diverse area, but I had also those internal things. But if I had this panel of people talking to me, I know that it would have changed my life. So thank you all so much for being here. Roz, Kikau, and Kyrstina, thank you for sharing your stories. Taylor, thank you for sharing your story. It means the world to me, and I can't thank you enough.
Yeah. Thanks for having us.
Thank you for having us. This has been a pleasure.
Thank you.
All right. Woof. I don't know how to follow that.
I know. It was so good. I mean, I'd love to just touch on what they'd said real quick, just like a couple of things. A lot of it is, performers getting in your own way. You know you're capable. And if there's a role out there that you want, go for it. Don't let anyone tell you what you can and cannot do. For example, I currently have been cast in the Devil Wears Prada coming up, right? When I was auditioning for this, I had a friend auditioning with me, another Black girl. I identify as a mixed race Black woman. And my friend, we were both going in for this role. We both had callbacks. There's another round. She didn't get it. She looked me dead in the face and said, well, they're not going to give it to a real Black girl. And that was a mindset that I think she carried in. It was something that she tried to put on me. It was something that I definitely was feeling myself. But I didn't let those outside elements affect what I knew. What was true was that I am more than capable of doing this role, no matter what. And so that's what I took into the room. And so that's what I just want to make sure we touch on, is how important Kyrstina said it as well. Like, getting out of your own way. We all have a lot to learn and unlearn, and just believe in yourself as much as you can. And also, as much as people of color want the right to tell all of these other stories. We want to make sure that people of color have the space and opportunity to tell their own stories from their own perspective. That is something that we'll talk about in coming up, but just how important that is to have space in your seasons, like Kikau said, or give those opportunities to actors like Roz said, and let people like Kyrstina come in, like she said, and tell a Lebanese story or whatever story she wants to tell. It's just, yeah, I couldn't not touch on those things again without moving forward.
No, I'm glad you did, because it's all so important, and it's so important for our JTF audience to hear those things and to be reminded of those things and about how these experiences are real and we need to move forward and move better. So now, how do we do that?
Yes. So how do that? We take action. You know, there are so many ways to better this world, and we'd love to share with you a few of the ways you can do that now.
So first is what we've done here today is to get the conversation going. And it doesn't matter if you're a teacher, if you're a parent, if you're a student, between your friend group, talk more. And what's more importantly, listen. It might get uncomfortable, and it might get weird, and emotions will get heightened, and that's okay, because you'll never promote change by staying comfortable. You'll never promote change by staying silent on these tough issues.
Right. So you look around you, you know, does everyone look the same, like at your job, in your home, at your school, in your communities? Saying that, if everyone around you was one race or one culture, you're going to get a very specific perspective of the rest of the world. And it's not that that perspective is a shame or you should feel guilty for it. It's just that you need to acknowledge your perspective so that you are open to other perspectives and realize that there are things that are different from you and from others.
Yes. So you've learned all of that, and now you need to learn what it means to be a true ally. And that's something that a lot of people have used to describe themselves without actually knowing what it means. And so there's a big difference. There is something called an active bystander, which means you don't partake in any negative actions or negative thoughts. You don't do anything bad, but you also don't stop the bad things from happening. You also don't stand up and stand with those people who are being affected. And that's what an ally does. An ally stands up and takes their own actions to make it a better world for others. And it's just looking to the people next to you and standing with them and providing help and not letting things just happen. You can't just let things happen anymore.
Consider all the different communities of people who haven't been able to participate in your theater yet. And do the work to get them involved. You know, rehearse and perform in spaces with wheelchair accessibility. Integrate American Sign Language into your shows for students and audiences who are hearing impaired. I know I've been in a few shows that do sensory friendly performances where sounds and lights might not be as extreme, or they're a little bit more subdued for people who need a bit have sensory experiences that need to be softened. Just these little things. And it's not like every show needs to be that one show in your run, 2 shows in your run makes a huge difference for people who may never have gone to the theater before.
And we want everybody to go to the theater, which means you need to be reviewing the material that you're doing in your theaters. Like Kikau said about making sure that those shows represent the people in those communities and who can participate in those shows. So review the material that you're doing in your theaters and make sure you're telling these stories appropriately and accurately. I mean, I love Hairspray. I love West Side Story. And they're amazing shows, but they represent real strife for very real communities. And so don't do the injustice of miscasting or not educating your audiences or not educating your performers. Take the responsibility to actively recruit performers of color to tell these stories honestly and make sure that everybody understands the reality on which this material is based, because it's very real.
Yes, that's perfect. Jiana said it's real. It's real to you. It's real to us. It's real to the world. So let's be real with ourselves and honest with ourselves and realize that these issues aren't going away. You know, they're not going to poof, go away tomorrow. It extends beyond the theater and it affects every single person, whether it's a person of color or not, every single day. It's present. And you are part of the system. So to make this world better, we all need to work together and continue to learn and grow and give ourselves patience and grace. And it's okay if you make mistakes. Just try to do better. That's all we can do is try.
I make mistakes all the time. And it's just a part of life, which is why I educate myself. I read. I watch even just watching something on Netflix that's not necessarily aimed at your demographic, it opens your mind to a new perspective. It's kind of like what Taylor said about looking around your communities. Look around to what you're taking in. I did a Google because I was going to verbally recommend some books, but there are hundreds of lists, and I know that seems overwhelming, but hundreds of lists of books to help be a better ally, to help understand the issue, to help how to fight the system. There are so many books. Just look at the hundreds of lists on Google and pick one and start there. Start anywhere and try to educate yourself. And that's only going to make you and others around you better.
Yes. And it does seem overwhelming. I'm sure for a lot of us, it just seems like so much. And that's okay. It is. It is a lot. It is heavy. But we start little bits at a time. Like Jiana said, Google is your friend. Art, like any tiny thing, 1 sentence a day, one question a day, one person a day that you reach out to. Very simple. And lastly, theater. Theater is our home. It's why we're here. It's our outlet. It is our escape. It is our diary. It is everything. So it is our superpower. So let's use it to make the world a better place. As that's what we want to do. To make people better, to make us better, to make our society better.
Yes, Taylor said it perfectly. Theater is our superpower. So use it. Use it to express yourself and feel and empower others and educate yourself. Take care of yourself while doing theater, and you're going to make the world better. Hi there. So we're actually coming to you live from right now with an important update. The original DEI forum was recorded in late December of 2020. It was edited and finalized and sent to our producers on January 6th of 2021, right when a group of domestic terrorists charged the United States Capitol. And in light of those events, Taylor and I knew that we had to do a live interruption.
Watching the attack unfold on our Capitol was scary, disappointing, triggering, and confusing. So we felt it was important to take some time to address such blatant racial injustice while discussing diversity, equity, and inclusion.
People of color can't go for a jog, go to the store, or even sleep without the fear of police brutality. And yet armed white supremacists attacked the heart of our nation and its leaders, and they were dealt with gently. Most of them got to sleep in their own homes after attacking the literal capital of the United States. This mob was aggressively racist, sexist, homophobic, anti-Semitic, and otherwise just xenophobic. It was not a peaceful protest. It was a declaration against anyone who does not look or think like them. And if you saw those images of violence and hate and you were scared, that is okay. It was scary. I'm a grown woman and I was afraid for our country, but also for my individual safety.
But it's more than just the fear. It's the pain and loneliness we felt while witnessing this attack. Seeing how differently police and national security leaders treated this group of mostly white but belligerent rioters fighting to illegally turn over an election versus how they treated the Black and brown bodies all year as they fought peacefully to live and breathe in this country. This event has shown an ugly but true side of this country. And I knew that when Jiana reached out to me, that I wasn't alone in feeling all these feelings and needing to unpack and find a safe space to process. Who do you check in with during times like this?
And that brings us to a big point. Students, parents, educators of color, and other marginalized groups, you are not alone. I know it is so hard to be the only person who looks like you in your cast or your workplace or your neighborhood, but JTF is a family and we all have each other. And if you ever feel alone or scared or frustrated, just reach out to each other. Reach out to me. Reach out to Taylor. We are stronger together and we can support each other. And it's with that sentiment, we are so, so excited to announce that we're going to create an official Facebook group for this JTF community. We'll email you all the details once we figure out everything, but we are going to make a focus of this Facebook group to give our JTF family members of marginalized groups a safe space where they can reach out to each other and feel less alone. Everyone is welcome to join. So even if you're just an ally, please join. The group is that we have the same goal of love and support to this community.
We are here to say to our fellow artists and educators and students of color, we got you. We hear you. We see you, and we need you, okay? We want to hear your thoughts and feelings. We need your stories, and we want to make sure that you are supported in your community.
And to our JTF family who aren't people of color, we need your support too. We need you to listen and to learn and to give us a shoulder to lean on and a space to thrive.
The only way through this thing is forward, and we can only go forward together. So take the energy of what has happened and use it to bring us to a safer and fairer place.
Thank you for listening to us. We know that what happened on January 6th was scary, and talking about it can be triggering. So again, thank you for trusting us and being here.
Yeah, we will all heal. It will take time, and it will take work, but we can do it together.
And with that, please enjoy the rest of the previously recorded History Has Its Eyes on You. Thank you again.
It feels so good to share all this with our JTF family. We hope you took something away from this forum, even if it's a tiny little thing. If it's a whole lot, we're just so excited that you're here. And please stay open and honest to yourself and stay listening and learning. And we will all be on the right track moving forward.
Whew. Okay, well, now I'm emotional. I can't believe that we got to do this on a JTF stage. It's a lot, and it's really important to me because I didn't have JTF growing up, and I know that even just a regular JTF would have changed my life, but a JTF with this kind of conversation with these amazing panelists that we've had, I just, I'm feeling mushy. And so while I'm mushy, I'm going to give another huge thank you to our guests, Roz Fulton, Kikau Alvaro, and Kyrstina Alabado. And of course, a huge thank you to my co-host, Miss Taylor Iman Jones.
Thank you. And none of this would be possible without you, Jiana. So thank you for inviting me to be here. Thank you for representing Black women at JTF. Look around at JTF. We could even use more diversity here. We're all learning, we're all working, we're all going forward. So thank you, Jiana, for creating this space for us and for all the students here at JTF.
I mean, you don't have to thank me. It's something that I'm so proud, and we haven't even gotten to the money. It's just JTF is a magical place, and I just want to make it better for people, for everybody, and people like us. And it's only going to get better from here. It really is. Whew, okay, now that we're already like near tears, I do have a very special performance to wrap us up. I'm getting my tissues now. Luckily, I will be off screen for the performance, so you won't see me become a hot mess. This is Break from the Line by Joey Contreras, and it was arranged by Daniel J. Mertzliff for this special presentation because we have some amazing student performers that joined us for this video. Leo Gonzalez, Elijah Groves, Izzy Najira, and Haley Truong. And the video is led by the brilliant Taylor Iman Jones. Everybody, this is Break from the Line.
So many people tell me what I can be, and from a young age immediately I knew exactly what I wanted to do. Out there a dream is waiting to be achieved, out there for someone maybe all preconceived. Who knows just how this journey goes? But I know that I'm not the only one that's climbing this high to be the one they call on the stage, finally in the light, who's been chasing this day with things all black and right. Still I look around me, everyone fighting for a sign, but someday I will break from the line. I I really try to stay away from the blues. This path is hard, but it's the one that I choose. So there, love isn't easy anywhere. All this power in other hands. I'm not the only one who understands this right. Filled with passion I just can't hide. So I know that I'm not the only one that's aiming to fly to the sky and be one day come on the stage, finally in the light. Who's been chasing this day where things are looking right? Still I look around me, everyone struggling to shine. Someday I will break from the line. I need to keep trying till I'm there and find I get it. It's not always there, but it'll be me. They call the stage finally in the light. Been chasing this day where things are looking right. So now it's time to believe. Now it's time to believe. One day I will receive my one big break. My break from love.
Oh, that was great. I've never seen it before, so that was so great. Oh, that was so cool.
All right. Well, I'm emotional. Thank you all for watching that. I'm going to bring back all of our guests, and we have some of our student performers here as well. So I'm going to add them to the stream. Hi, everybody. So many people to love and thank.
Yay, so good.
That was amazing.
Unbelievable. Beautiful, beautiful message.
Beautiful.
Oh my God.
I can't thank all of you enough for your contributions to the first ever JTF DEI Forum. History has its eyes on you. Everybody here and everybody out there at JTF, I hope you had a wonderful time with us. I hope that you learned something. I hope that we can take this energy and make history and make it better and make the world more theatrically magical. Thank you to our student performers. Thank you to our panelists. Thank you to Taylor. Have fun at workshops, everybody. Have a great JTF. Thank you.
Thank you.
Bye.
Here's what I believe in. Nothing matters more than love. Friendship and affection, real connection. It's a gift from above. Every song that we play, every prayer that we pray, makes a bond in a way that's profound. We're just here to spread that love all around. Spread it around. Spread it around.
Queen of Angels, welcome to His Holiness the Pope. Oh, welcome, Holy Father.
Let love's music fill you. you. Passion and devotion, real emotion. What did God first get through? So give in to the beat and get knocked off your feet. Let it sweep you completely away. Grab a partner and head out on that parquet. And get up. Jump in. Reach out.
Everyone, join your hands together. Everyone, find the common ground. Everyone, sister and brother, love one another, stand around. Everyone, join your hands together. Everyone, find the common ground. Every sister and brother, love one another, stand around. Get down. Get down! Love,